As a reasonably new player myself who started playing Genshin not too long ago, I always wondered when certain characters got released, how did the map look through the versions, and what was the feeling to be there from the very beginning. And I know I'm not alone in this one, whether you are a new player who's interested to see when did your favorite piece of map got released, or maybe you're a veteran player who just wants a nostalgia trip. And so in this video we're gonna put together the dates for all the versions, all the map releases, and what kind of characters got released along the way. So without rambling for too long, let's go back to the very beginning, like very beginning. The first time the world got taste of Genshin was on June 21st, 2019 in closed beta test. That session lasted about 4 weeks. Following that, there were 2 more closed beta sessions on March 18, 2020 and July 2nd, 2020. Those ended on July 27, 2022, and following that, on September 28, 2022, the world for the first time got to experience Genshin Impact. Introducing version 1.0, welcome to TVAD. Now just quick heads up, I hate the names in Genshin and I'm probably gonna butcher at least half of them, so just roll with it my friend. So on September 28, 2022 we got version 1.0 that included the regions of Mondstadt and Luai. The map looked something along these lines. As you can see, it's nowhere near as big as what we got today. However, you have to realize that this was still a very new game, and if you look at this as a new game, the map is actually pretty big. And together with this map, we got released these characters. Obviously, first and foremost, that was the Traveler. We got 4 stars like Amber, Keia, Lisa, Barbara, Noelle, Bennett, Razor, Beidou, Fischl, Xiangling, Xingyu, Chungyan, Ningguang, Sucrose, and then we got some 5 stars like Venti, Klee, Jean, Diluc, Keekwing, Mona, and Shichi. These guys are the original characters, the original cast of Genshin Impact. And so following that, on November 11, 2020, we got introduced to the version 1.1. In this version, we got these characters: Diona, Tartaglia, Xian, and Zhongli. Following on the next update on the version 1.2 that was released on December 23rd, 2022, we got introduced to the Dragonspine. A cold, a miserable area, but a very beautiful one. I still remember the first time I visited Dragonspine. I was so underprepared. I was like level 10 and everybody was like level 25, and I got my ass beaten completely. But that was good times, I loved it. And in the same update, we got Albedo and Guan Yu. Following that, on February 3rd, 2021, we got the version 1.3, which came Hu Tao and Xiao. Still to today's day, many people love Xiao, and he is almost one of the original characters. On the next update, 1.4, on March 17, 2021, we got Rosaria. Following that, in version 1.5, on April 28, 2021, we got Elua and Yanfei. And then on June 9th, we got the version 1.6, which came with the first ever limited summertime map, which was called the Golden Apple Archipelago. Although I never had the chance to experience it, and I dearly would love to. Hopefully maybe Genshin at some point brings all the limited summer maps for new players to have a go. That would be amazing, but unfortunately as of right now I can't say much about this map, but I'm sure some of you will remember it fondly. And on the same update, we got one of the best characters released to this game, and one of my favorite ones as well. He's still on my roster and he's gonna be there for a very long time, Mr. Kazuka himself. And shortly after, we move on into version 2.0. On July 21st, 2021, we got introduced to Inazuma, a region filled with possibilities, but unfortunately with unfulfilled potential. A truly beautiful region that was too short and too annoying at times, you know what I mean. I wouldn't say that this region is favorite among the players, but personally for me it's definitely one of my favorite in terms of the looks. Alongside the Inazuma on the same update, we got introduced to these new characters: Kamisato Aika, Sayu, and Yoimiya. Not long after, on September 1st, 2021, on version 2.1, we got introduced to Watasumi Island and Serai Island. Very beautiful and interesting islands once again, probably not the favorite ones among the players, but I like them nonetheless. And we also got these characters, Aloy, Koji Sara, one of the players' favorite character, Raiden Shogun, and Kokomi. In the following update on version 2.2 on October 13, 2021, we got introduced to Tsurimi Island. Alongside that island, we also got introduced to Toma. On November 24, 2021, we got introduced to the version 2.3, which introduced us to one of my favorite characters, the super excited, always making jokes, the funny guy in the room, Arataki Ito. I love this guy, I think he's a great character, but probably not the one you should pull, but he has a fantastic story and I love him. And alongside him, we also got Goro. And then in the next update on January 5th, 2022, version 2.4, we got introduced to Enkonamiya, which I must say, until making this video, I didn't even know this island exists. And that just shows how huge Genshin is. The exploration is limitless. After playing Genshin for half a year, I still have a region I didn't even know existed, so that is something to look forward for myself. But alongside this region, we got introduced to Shenshi and Junjin. On February 16, 2022, a version 2.5 came out, together with the new character, Yaimiko. And then on March 30th, 2022, Genshin introduced us to the version 2.6 and say hi to the Chasm, which is absolutely my most favorite region of them all. Okay, I hated it, but towards the end, I wouldn't say I grew to love it, but I don't hate it anymore as bad. It's alright, it gets better towards the end, it gets better. Alongside it, the game also introduced us to the Kamisaro Ayaro. Then in the next update, on May 31st, 2022, version 2.7, Genshin released Yelan and Kuki. And then on July 13th, 2022, version 2.8, once again the Genshin released the Golden Apple rerun. That is once again the summer limited map. I saw a lot of people on Reddit say that that was one of the best, if not the best. Once again, shame I never got the chance to experience it, but hey, maybe one day, who knows, we'll see. But alongside it, we also got Heizu. And now, let's move to the next update, which is 3.0 on August 24th, 2022. Welcome everybody to Sumeru. Sumeru got people divided, some loved it, some hated it. I was on the loving side, I loved the story. Yes, it drags out, yeah it's long, yeah it can be annoying. I loved it, I loved the lore, I loved everything about it. It was my favorite region, alongside Fontaine, and I absolutely loved it. And together with that came 3 new characters, Collei, Dori, and Tignari. After that, on version 3.1, that was introduced on September 28, 2022, for the first time we get to experience the Great Desert. The game introduced us to the Great Red Sands, which was only the beginning of the desert. There was still more to come, as you can see it's only but a part of it, and the map looked something along these lines. And together with this update came Sinnoh, Cadence, and Nilo. And then on version 3.2 on November 2nd, 2022, the game introduced us to Nihara and Lila, both very great and very useful characters for very certain purposes that are still being used today. Then on the next update 3.3, December 7th, 2022, we got introduced to the Wanderer and Faruzan. On January 18, 2023, version 3.4 came out and it expanded the desert just a little bit more, and it also introduced Al-Hayram and Yayo. And then on the version 3.5 that came out on March 1st, 2023, we got introduced to Dea and Mika. By the way, Dea, why did I get you? Why did I lose my 50-50 to you? Why are you so bad? Be better! Genshin, please make it better, because I actually like the way she looks. She's pretty cool. She's just kind of bad, but she's very cool. And I like the story she has, so just can you guys please make it better? Thank you, please. Okay, let's move on. Then comes along version 3.6 on April 12th, 2023, and it finally introduces the last piece of the Great Desert, the Girdle of the Sands. Together with that came Baiju and Kaveh. And then on version 3.7 that came May 24, 2023, we got introduced to Kirara. And then, not long after that, in version 3.8 that came out July 5th, 2023, we got introduced to the new Summertime Limited map, and this time thankfully it wasn't just a rerun, it was called Valerium Mirage Summer Limited map, and once again I have no idea what it's like because I wasn't playing the game just then. But you can guys let me know in the comments what these maps were like because I have no idea. Oh, and if you're enjoying this video, how about a subscribe? Surely we can make that happen, right? Anyway, and then once this map ended, we finally got introduced to the version 4.0 that came out on August 16, 2023, and introduced to arguably the best region in the game. Although I loved Sumeru, but I will say I understand why people overwhelmingly will say Fontaine is the best. It absolutely has the right to be called the best because it truly is one of the best regions in the game and has arguably the best story in the game as well. I think this region will be remembered fondly for all of the players. Potentially, maybe even best region we're ever gonna get, who knows? Because the bar that it set was truly high and it's not gonna be easy to match it. Alongside Fontaine, they introduced Linné, Lynette, and Firminant. And in version 4.1, on September 27th, 2023, they introduced us to the Fontaine Research Institution of Kinetic Energy and Engineering region, and also Leafy region. And alongside, they introduced us to the one, to the only Monsieur Neuvillette, arguably the best character in the game, arguably the coolest character in the game, and without an argument, my favorite character in the game. Truly a great one. And alongside him, they also introduced us to Vratelzi, the prison warden. And then following in the next update on version 4.2 that got released in November 8, 2023, they introduced us to Erinai's Forest and Morte region. Alongside that, they also released another top tier character, both in terms of the coolness, the lore, and just overall being one of the best characters to pull, Furina. Oh, and Charlotte as well, so yeah, cool. Yeah, let's move to the next one. That would be version 4.3 that came out on December 20, 2023. They introduced us to Navia and Chevreuse. And then finally, my friends, on the version 4.4 that came out on January 31st, 2024, they added the Shenyu Valley subregion in Luai, which by the way, I don't know why they added it so late after Luai, but there we go. They also introduced to the game Gaming and Shenyun, and they also introduced one more important thing, me. That's when I started playing this game. And my friends, I'm playing it to this day. I absolutely loving it and I will continue to play it. And then in the next update on version 4.5 that came out on March 13, 2024, they introduced us to Chiori. And following the next update 4.6, April 24th, 2024, they introduced us to Nostoi region, a little area in Fontaine that goes underwater and it's actually pretty big when you go underwater. And alongside that, they also introduced one of the cooler characters in the game without a question, and arguably one of the strongest one as well, Arlecchino. And shortly after that, on version 4.7, June 5th, 2024, they introduced us to Seto, Sigwayne, and Chloride. And then on version 4.8 that came out July 17, 2024, they introduced yet another Summertime Limited map, which was Simulanka, which obviously let's just say I wasn't a favorite, but you know, it's just a Summertime Limited map, so we're not gonna overly complain. And they also introduced us to the newest member of the cast, Emily. And on August 28, 2024, they released the version 4.5, and I hear you say, but wait, it's not out yet. And you'll be correct, my friend. It's not out yet, but at this point, we only know just a little bit about it. We only have a few pictures and teasers of what the future holds for us. This is an image of the full map of Natlan, according to some people on Twitter. That remains to be seen if this is true. If it is, we're likely to be in for a one huge map. These are some of the potential character releases alongside with the new region. These are just some of the teasers that the Genshin is showcasing us to the general look and the vibe of the region. Although I don't know what the future holds for us, that remains to be seen. But one thing is for sure, my friend. I'm excited for it, I will be here for it, and I will cover it all. And if you want to be there with me too, well, you already know what to do, I don't need to tell you. I hope you enjoyed this little nostalgia trip, and if you are a newer player like me, I hope you enjoyed this educational trip of the history of Genshin. In whichever case that it is, I thank you for watching all the way until the end. And I'm sure I will see you next time, so take care my friend, and I'll see you somewhere out there in Natlan. Until next time.